Hey everyone at this year's symposium. I want to introduce myself. Thank you for having me. I'm a student of Professor Totova. She's been excellent to me this year and has taught me a lot about marketing channels and the relationship between these objects that I'm here to talk about today. I want to thank the event staff for hosting this event and giving us the opportunity to display what we've learned, quite frankly, and represent for the University of Georgia Southwestern. Um, Today, my study that I'm going to be going over as briefly as possible. It's a very long topic, so I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. I know it's between 3 to 5 minutes, so I'll try to cut time. But it's the study of power balance, communication, and channel conflict, and the result that has on perfect productivity or negative productivity, depending on the marketing channel relationship that an organization has structured. To begin, I would like to go over the introduction a little bit. We're going to be talking a lot about a couple of different topics here, but trust and business relationships are first and foremost critical to the success of an omni-channel relationship. It's absolutely important to have trust and building these relationships. They directly impact customer loyalty, engagement, satisfaction, and customer retention. Customer retention and customer retainment are one of the most expensive expending factors when it comes to marketing and getting in these customers, retaining these customers, keeping them to you instead of going to competition. So that's very important, very very important. An omni-channel business operates across multiple channels, such as a brick and mortar store, e-commerce, online, phone, social media platforms. An omni-channel structure really incorporates everything, whereas lower level channels would mainly maybe focus on just brick and mortar or just e-commerce. Omni-channel encompasses practically all of that. Um, the purpose of the study in general is to show how the factors of power balance, communication, and channel conflict will eventually affect productivity. On one hand, channel relationships can be an excellent way for partners to pull their resources together and expertise also to achieve shared goals. However, there are issues, as with everything. Um, they can also be fraught with challenges, and many relationships fail to live up to their potential. Um, According to the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, there are several common reasons why channel relationships fail. These are very, very important because this is the structure on which you need to avoid at all costs. Um, One major reason for partnership failure is just pure and simple lack of communication. I'd like to relate this to an analogy, and it might sound cheesy, but I'll do this a couple times throughout this presentation. But in a relationship with a spouse, a significant other, a wife, a husband, whatever it may be, without proper communication, odds are your relationship's not going to look too well. It might even fail. And it's very, very fixable. It's a fixable thing. Communication is one of those things that is underlying. You don't think about it all the time, but it's on other people's minds a lot. And especially when it comes to business, when there's a lot of money being exchanged and a lot of money involved, communication is on everyone's mind. If you're not communicating properly with your channel partners, there could be a very, very big rift between the two of you, or three of you, or however many channel partners you might have. Um, another, another very important thing to consider when getting involved in omni channels is a power balance structure. Okay, so I'd also like to relate this analogy to relationships. Um, for instance, I'll give you an example. Say your significant other was having a really good go at life, just a fantastic run at it, making a lot of money, taking care of the kids if you have kids, taking care of the dogs if you have dogs, taking care of everything, household chores, etc., etc., etc. Relate that to a channel member doing the exact same things but in a different perspective, such as business. Say that they're taking care of all the marketing. Say they're taking care of all the logistical issues. Say they're taking care of this. Say they're taking care of that. Say they basically saying they don't need you. You need them far more than they need you, and that is a very, very scary prospect for anyone in business. And like I said, in relationships, that is a very scary prospect as well, because you can see that they get along fine without you. They don't need you much. You're nothing but a leech. you're a hindrance. So if you want to be anything but a hindrance, it's very good to have a good power balance to make sure that you're both on an even playing field. You pull your share, they pull you their share, everybody meets in the middle, and everyone feels like everyone's doing a great job and getting along, and therefore everyone can move on with their lives and get business done and get everything taken care of. And that is especially true within a marketing channel. The third thing you really want to avoid is channel conflict. Channel conflict could be anything it's a wide range and variation of topic. It could be anything from a lack of communication. It could be anything from gossip, even miscommunication. It could be it could be just the pure and simple fact that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're off topic. You're not working on what you're supposed to be working on. You're not focused on the task at hand. You might be led astray. There's a lot of different reasons that channel conflict can happen. But when channel conflict arises, the best thing to do is to go ahead and take care of it, find the issues, go ahead and settle it, and fix it so that it doesn't turn into more of a conflict than it needs to be. Settle it before it gets to conflict level, ideally, would be what you would like to do. Now, along with these, I have hypotheses. Obviously, my school of thinking comes from the fact that if you have a perfect power balance, which these are the big three things to me that could stop an omni-channel relationship from succeeding and with your channel partners, is to have a perfect power balance, for one. The most important to me is communication. You have to have communication. Without communication, everything else fails. Trust, everything. You have to have communication. And channel membership conflict. You have to nip that in the bud as well. And that will equal perfect productivity, without a few other outliers that are out there, of course. But those are the big three. In my school of thought, at least through all the studies I've been doing. I've been doing this for quite some time now, and I think these are the biggest three issues that omni-channel members face, and that will lead to a massive boon for a company or an industry or a business or an organization's effective productivity. Quite frankly, I like to talk about the study that I did. 1/3 of the questions of the survey given to how channel members communicate, which was 30 questions, is a third. Another, and how it affected their productivity. Another 30 were about channel conflict and how those managerial figureheads handled that channel conflict. And another 30 questions were about power balance and how channel members view power balance, and if they've ever been in instances where power balance has been good or bad, and how that affected them and why. These were very insightful answers and validated my points in a lot of ways. The results and conclusions tab, you can take a look there. I know I'm running low on time, guys. I'm terribly sorry. It is a lot to talk about. But in essence, it concluded what I originally thought intuitionally. That there were several instances throughout these questionnaires. I used the Kleithoff method, and we figured out that these three instances, if they are tackled correctly, can definitely increase productivity, especially in businesses like retail, home goods sales, things like that. Anything along the lines of that where you have a logistical supply chain, especially because that is incredibly intensive with communication. I want to thank everybody. You can see my sources down at the bottom. I have a couple from the Harvard Institute. I have some from the Hong Kong Institute. I have a couple from MIT. I have a couple from just some journals that I found, some scholarly journals that I found, some academic journals. So I appreciate you guys giving me the time of day. I hope this provided some insight into how omni-channels work and how channel conflict, communication, and power balance can be effective to boost productivity within a membership. And thank you so much for your time, and have a great day. I look forward to seeing you at the symposium.